Sir,
Yeah.
I have a doubt that in the
Hmm.
inductor,
Hmm.
if the current is moving from positive to negative side and the
Hmm.
current is decreasing,
Hmm.
then the power will be negative.
If we have an inductor
So,
and current is flowing from left to right, I is flowing from left to right, but you told that di dt is less than 0.
negative.
That means
Yes, sir.
left side will be uh, negative and right side will be positive. So that will be the
Okay.
voltage.
Oh,
Okay, acha. So that means the current is entering through the negative potential, and so basically power is negative.
okay.
Okay, so as you correctly pointed out. Okay, so power negative, power means what? Power fed or entered uh, into this inductor, fed to the inductor.
And sir, the energy produced by this power will be stored as an internal energy of this inductor.
So actually, at this particular moment, power is not being fed. It is rather, I mean, power fed negative means power is actually coming out. Power is actually uh, coming out from the inductor. Okay, that means the stored energy in the inductor is decreasing, and that is true
Cool.
because half L I square, that quantity is decreasing. Okay, so at this moment power is coming out, or out from the inductor, or stored energy is decreasing. Okay, yeah, very good observation. Yes. So last in our last class, we solved this problem that if we have a battery and suppose there is a resistance and a
Sir,
capacitor. Suppose we have a battery with EMF E, a switch, a resistance R, and a capacitor with capacitance C. And if this switch is suddenly closed at t equal to 0, then what happens? How will this current, say, I, will vary as a function of time, and how will the potential across this capacitor will vary as a function of time. This is what we have derived in our last class. So if you recall, this is plus, this is minus. So if you recall, what did we get? We got that Vc as a function of time will be equal to E minus E e to the
T
power
minus
uh,
T
d by
item.
RC.
Let's see.
Okay, acha. And then the current I was how much? It was E by R e to the power minus t by
T by
RC. Okay, am I correct? I hope so. So this is what we have derived in our last class. Now, the question that we will investigate today is about the energy stored in an capacitor. Energy in a capacitor. Okay. So first of all, suppose we have a parallel plate capacitor, two plates separated by some insulation, and suppose there is initially no charge in these two plates. Now when there is no charge, then there is no force of attraction or repulsion between the two plates. Okay, but then suppose we kindly mute yourselves, some noise is coming. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so now suppose we give some charge. then what will happen? Suppose here we give some positive charge and here we give the same amount of equal amount of negative charge, then these two plates will attract each other. And suppose you can imagine a thought experiment that the lower plate is connected to some weight with a string. Okay, suppose there is a weight connected to it and the weight is on the ground. Okay, then if you allow this weight to move up, then when these two plates are charged and if the upper plate is kept fixed, then the lower plate can move up and in the process can lift this weight up. So that means it can do some work. And so that is an indication that when the two plates are charged, there is some energy which can be converted into work. Okay, so when there was no charge, there was no force of attraction and there was no energy. But when you charge the two plates, there is some electrostatic energy stored which can do some work. Now the question is, how much is the energy stored as a function of charge or as a function of the voltage across the two plates. Okay, acha. Now let me call the capacitance to be C and the charge let the charge be plus and minus Q, and then we know that voltage is given by Q divided by C. Okay, so this is the relation between charge, voltage and capacitance. Now let us imagine that we have a parallel plate capacitor and it is gradually charged. Gradually charged in the sense that initially there was no charge in any of the two plates and then some current is flowing from top to bottom. That may be a function of time. As current is flowing from top to bottom in the upper plate, same amount of current is flowing out from the lower plate. Okay, so gradually the upper plate will get positive charge and lower plate will get negative charge. The capacitance is C and voltage is Vc, which is also changing as a function of time. I am considering the upper side to be positive and lower side to be negative. Okay, acha. Now at any particular point of time, how much power is given in to this capacitor? So power at any particular moment, let me call it PT, that will be the product of current and voltage. Now this current we know is related to the voltage as C into dVc dt.
By dt.
Absolutely, excellent. This multiplied by Vc, this is the power. Now let me calculate the total energy. Okay, so we are assuming that initially there was no charge and finally the charge was plus Q and minus Q. Okay, so this is the final charge. This is the final charge. And therefore, so final voltage will also be given by V equal to Q by C. Initially there was no voltage. Initial voltage was equal to 0 and also initial charge was also equal to 0. Okay. Now how much is the total energy given in this process? So energy input to the capacitor will be integration of power over time. Okay, assuming that this entire process of charging starts from time t equal to 0 and suppose it completes at time some capital T. Okay, then we have to do this integration. Achha. Then we can write this as this power is equal to uh, here we have
C
written C dV
C.
C yeah, so C dV C dt multiplied by Vc integrated over time. And so we can also write this that the integration is over voltage starting from 0 to voltage final voltage was capital V. Okay, so this is the range of integration. Now C is a constant, we can write it outside the integration, and this quantity can be written as half ddt of Vc square. Okay, and dt as it is. So if you differentiate Vc square, you will get this quantity. Okay, so this can be written as this. Now if you do the integration, what will you get? You will get half C common outside, and now integration and this differentiation will cancel, so we will have Vc t squared in and the ranges are from 0 to capital V. Okay, so this will come out to be V square, and half C is as it is, so half CV square, half CV square. So this is the amount of energy stored in any capacitor as a function of voltage. You can also write this as a function of charge. So this is half C, and V is nothing but Q square. I mean V square is Q square by C square. So this will become like this. Okay, acha. Now there is an interesting question that we will ask. Coming back to this circuit, okay, here when this switch was open, so let me just copy it. Okay, so when this switch was open, then there was no charge. I mean, we are assuming that there was no charge across this capacitor when the switch was open. So initial capacitor energy was how much? Initial stored in electrostatic energy in the capacitor was
0.
0. Excellent.
0.
And final energy, that means final electrostatic energy stored is equal to how much?
Half CV
Half
square.
C is square.
CV square.
Yeah, and V will be finally E, that we know. Yes. We have seen it previously.
Yes.
Okay, so this will be the final energy. Achha. So that means energy input to capacitor. Please mute yourself. So this much energy comes into the capacitor. Okay. However, let us ask how much is the energy.
Sir, excuse me. Sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, isn't V E minus IR?
Pardon?
VC shouldn't it?
VC.
Shouldn't VC be E minus IR?
No, because
No,
the internal resistance is 0.
VC
But
is, let me answer.
Resistance here, no, sir.
So you see, VC is this. Okay. And now when you let this time t tending to infinity, then what will happen to this second term? It will become 0. So final VC will be E, right? Okay. So at a very
there's a resistance here, no, sir. What about it?
Yeah, so there is so what happens to this current at a very large value of time? This current will become, if you put
0.
Yeah, so current 0. So there is, that means no voltage drop.
No potential drop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Minus I just substitute the expression for I.
Okay, so let me proceed. Acha, now what was I saying? Yeah. Okay. So, acha, let us ask how much is the
Sir,
yes.
sir, this circuit is linear.
I will answer that question only at the end if time permits. Okay, because then I have to define what is meant by linearity, etc. Okay, how much is the energy given by the battery? Given
Sir,
by
is it in syllabus that linearity in all?
it is
Or
not.
C
It is
square?
not. That's why I
C
told
is.
that I will answer only if time permits. How
So
much
C
is
is.
the energy given
PV
by the
square.
voltage
C
source?
is square, so half the energy is wasted.
PV square.
Acha, so let us see. Okay, so see this current is same as this current IT. Okay, acha, so energy given or power given by the source at any moment is E multiplied by IT. E voltage is constant, but current is changing with time. So energy given will be integration of this quantity E into IT, starting from the moment when you close this switch up to, you can say, time infinity. Okay, please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. Now this quantity here E is constant, and if you integrate current, what will you get? Integration of current will be total charge delivered by the source. So that you can write as E multiplied by Q, where Q is also the same as the charge, total charge received by this capacitor. Okay, here we will get plus Q minus Q at a very large value of time. Okay, and how much is Q? Q is nothing but how much is Q?
C
Q
into
is
E.
E divided by C. Okay,
C is.
so this comes out to be E square by C.
Sir, into not divided.
So E into
Sir,
C,
it's
right?
E into
E
C.
into C.
Q should be E
Oh,
into
sorry. Yeah, thank you. E into C. So this comes out to be E square into C. Thank you. Yeah, so you see the energy given by the source is E square C. However, energy received by the capacitor is half of that, half E square C. Okay, so what happens to the other half?
Sir, lost as
resistance.
Yeah, so you can easily, yeah, you are
By
right
E square
that
RDT.
it is lost as heat in this resistance. Okay, so let us verify that. Okay, so let us verify heat
I square RDT.
dissipated in resistance, heat dissipated or consumed in resistance, that is given by always I square into R. Okay, and that we have to integrate over time to get the total heat, okay, starting from 0 to infinity. Achha. Now we know the expression of I. I is given by E by R e to the power minus.
won't it be divided by T?
If you divide by T, that will be power. So here we are
Power,
considering
yes.
total energy. Okay, total heat energy dissipated.
Dissipate.
Okay.
Dissipate.
Acha. So E by R, this is current, squared multiplied by R dt. You integrate from 0 to infinity. Let us see what do we get. So E squared and R squared and 1R, so that will be E squared by R, okay, outside the integration, and this is E to the power minus 2t by RC dt from 0 to infinity. So that will be E squared by R. If you integrate, you will get E to the power minus 2t by RC whole divided by minus 2 by RC, and the limit of integration is from 0 to infinity. So what will this be? E square by R, then RC by 2 and a minus sign, and e to the power minus 2t by RC, 0 to infinity. So with you can change this minus here and you can make it like this. Okay, and this, what will be this value inside bracket? It will be 1.
Once.
So this comes out
1.
yeah, this comes out to be E square C by 2. Exactly same as the amount of energy mismatch that we got here. Okay, so that means exactly half of the energy in this process is lost as heat in the resistance, and the remaining half is stored in the capacitor. Now I know what you will ask next. You will ask that what happens if we take a lower value of resistance. Okay, so what happens if R is lower? What will happen if R is lower? You will say then the heat generated in this resistance will be lower because it is proportional to I square R. But that's not the case.
It will be same as
Total total heat will remain same. Okay, because the current, if you take lower value of R, current will also increase. Okay, because the expression of current is here. If you take lower value of lower value of resistance, current will be more, and eventually the heat dissipated will remain, total heat dissipated will remain same.
Sir, then, sir,
Yes,
tau
I
will
know.
be decreasing and the current would go slower wherever it is going, like decreasing or increasing.
Pardon?
Sir, when the R will be lower, the tau will be, sir, the current would like decrease or whatever it will do, like approach a particular value, it will do it slower than if R was higher, right?
Right.
It
So
will do faster, I guess.
let us see.
so it will take too much
Let us
time,
see.
right?
Let us see. So suppose this is time and this is the current IT. We know it depends. It's like this: E by R, e to the power minus T by RC. Okay. Now, if you take lower value of R, then time constant tau is, this RC is, this
Tau
quantity will
is-
also go down. So that means it will decrease faster, but its initial value will also be more. So for a lower value of R, it will be
Yes,
like this.
it will come from higher position.
Yeah, it will start
Yes.
from a higher position and decrease faster. And if you take higher value of R, it will start slowly and continue longer. Okay, so that's what happens. But I square R, that integration will remain unchanged. Total amount of heat in this case remains same. Acha. Now I know some of you will definitely ask what happens for the special case of R equal to 0. What happens when?
Instantly.
Instantly charged capacitor is
Yeah. So yeah, you are right. Then then the capacitor will be instantly charged. Okay. So current, if I plot a graph like time versus current, we will see a very high value of current, a very spiky current at time 0, and then current will become again 0. Okay. So we will get a very high current, infinite, you can say, or it's actually very tricky thing to say, and in this case you will definitely ask how the energy balance is maintained. So I will actually avoid this question in the class because this is something very difficult to answer. I don't know how I can answer this convincingly because we are saying that we are simultaneously saying that initially there was no charge across the capacitor. So initially Vc was 0 at time t equal to 0. Because before that switch was open and no charge could come, so this voltage was definitely 0 at the starting point. But at the same time we are saying that from the moment when the switch is closed, so for t greater than equal to 0, we must have the voltage E is equal to Vc. So these two things are conflicting with each other. So this is something I will avoid trying to answer.
Sir, when the resistor is not there, the energy dissipated in C is half CV squared. So it is getting heat is developed in the where?
So that is the question. I cannot give a convincing answer in the class. So that's why I will avoid this question, that exactly what happens when R is equal to 0 and how energy balance is maintained. Yeah, we know that there will be a very high amount of spiky current at this moment. The capacitor will get instantly charged, but still energy balanced. How is it maintained? I cannot give a convincing answer in this class. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, I read somewhere that the energy is dissipated in the inelastic collision between electron
right.
and the plate of the capacitor.
You are right. So okay, I will just briefly mention that it is said that what happens is that the energy is converted into the kinetic energy of the charge carriers, or in this case electrons. Okay, but that we do not model in our normal circuit theory. In normal circuit theory, we do not consider the energy of the kinetic energy of the electrons, so that we cannot model here convincingly at this moment. But you are right that some theory says that this energy is converted into the kinetic energy of the electrons, and then that electrons it may bounce back, it may keep moving, it may I'm not going into that detail. It's beyond this scope of the class. But yeah, you're right. Okay, so this question I will avoid. Okay, acha.
Sir, is it possible that a circuit without resistance?
Practically, it is not possible. So in all practical circuits, even if you are connecting with some wire or something, a battery and a capacitor, it has always some small amount of resistance. So practically, we need not bother about this R equal to 0 condition. Okay, because always there is some resistance.
We can use superconductors.
Okay, you can use superconductors, then other things will come. One theory says that, as I mentioned, that the energy goes into the kinetic energy of electrons. And also, even if you can avoid resistance, you cannot avoid inductance. This is beyond the scope of the class, but still, you have a closed circuit and closed path, so that means some current is flowing in a closed loop, and there will be magnetic field, and then in the magnet, through the magnetic field also some energy can go away. All those things are, electromagnetic radiation, etc., is not inside the scope of the class. Okay? I cannot give you a very satisfactory answer. I'm sorry for that. Okay, yeah. Okay, so also, one student was just asking at the beginning that what happens if we connect two batteries of different EMF like this. Suppose E1 and E2, they are not equal. E1 and E2 are not equal. Again, this circuit has no solution. Okay, and if the resistance is, I mean, practically there is always some resistance. So practically, what will happen? Practically, if there is some small resistance R is close to 0 but still greater than 0, and then we can say that this current I will be equal to E1 minus E2 by R, tending to infinity, very large. So practically never make a circuit like this. That will be very dangerous. So never ever do this, because current will be very large. A very large amount of heat can generate, and it may cause burning of the circuit, and it will be very dangerous. So never ever try this circuit in laboratory or anywhere. So this is dangerous. This is a bad circuit. And theoretically, if R is equal to 0, then I is undefined. Practically never try this, and theoretically we do not have an answer. Okay, so this is a bad, or even you can say dangerous circuit. Okay, so similarly, let us, since you asked this question, let me ask, what will happen if I take a battery or a voltage source and if I connect it like this with a wire with negligible resistance or zero resistance?
The wire will heat up and the battery will get
Yeah, so
immediately
again
discharged.
this is a
That's
again this
worse.
is a bad circuit. So current practically will tend to infinity if the resistance R is tending to 0. Never ever try this in laboratory, it is dangerous. Okay, so never do this. Also, so this, let me give you some examples of such bad circuits. Okay, this is one. Then you can take two capacitors, and suppose they are initially charged, and suppose this is charged with voltage V1, another capacitor charged with a different voltage V2. Never ever short them directly. Okay, this is also very dangerous or a bad circuit. Okay, acha. Then say, what happens if I take a current source and keep it like this?
Sir, when two capacitors are connected like this, won't the charge get distributed to create equal this?
Sir, that was
But
the
before
question in the
that, the moment you connect this, before anything for charge distribution can happen, the moment you connect it, how much will be this current? Instantaneous current.
Sir,
Infinity.
these type of circuits are used in mosquito rackets. I mean, I just dismantled one, so I saw this one. What is
Yeah,
this?
you are right. You are right. In mosquito racket, this kind of circuits are used, and then you also probably have seen that there is a spark, and
Yes,
that
sir.
spark
That's-
also causes the mosquito to die. It is so dangerous. For a mosquito racket, this voltage is not very high. Maybe how much I don't know exactly. Maybe at max about 20 volts at max. I'm not sure. And the resistance is also not 0. It's finite. Okay. Still, it is dangerous for the mosquito. Now, if you try something this in laboratory with a significant amount of voltage and stored charge, it may be even dangerous for us. Okay,
Yes.
so don't do that ever in laboratory. Yeah. Now coming to this question.
So there will be no current,
Yeah, so there is no path for the current to flow, but this.
but high voltage.
So what will happen? You can say that the resistance here is infinity. So it will try to generate infinite voltage. It will try to generate a very high amount of voltage, and that will again cause breakdown of insulations, etc., and that is again dangerous.
So how do we store a current source?
So never, yeah, very good question. So this, don't ever do this. This is not allowed.
Sir.
So if you, let me answer the previous question. So if you have a current source, always keep it sorted. Always keep it sorted. I mean, always keep a close path for the current to flow. Okay, so never keep it like this. This is not allowed. This is allowed.
Sir, what will happen if this current source is set open?
If this current source is kept open, but if it is that means the resistance here is infinity, so it will try to generate infinite amount of voltage here, very actually practically very large amount of voltage here. If I call A and B, this VAB will tend to infinity. Okay, and
Sir, will there
the-
be an electric breakdown?
Okay.
it will cause a electrostatic breakdown somewhere, and that's dangerous again. Yeah.
Sir, the circuit which you have drawn the upside with the hashtag of bad, that
Yeah.
circuit is not possible, na sir, cause it will only be happen if the wire is ideally have zero resistance, but it is not possible to have a zero
Right.
resistance.
So
in
practically
any kind
resistance
of
will be
wire.
small, very small, and therefore the current will be very high. Okay, and therefore it is again dangerous. A very high amount of current can damage. Can be very dangerous and damaging. Okay, so
Sir, the dangerous must be when I should try to touch the wire, it will not blast now.
no, even if you are not touching it, it may cause excessive heating for for some time, and that part may get burned,
Fire.
and now that spark or that flame can propagate in nearby things, and
But
it's very,
sir,
yeah.
sir,
Hmm.
but in this case, the current is infinite and R is almost zero. If we do I square R, then it will be infinity by infinity indeterminate form. Then how can we say that it will be very high heat? It can be anything.
Okay, so
It is
here it's here I square by R is confusing, but let me tell that this energy is E squared by R. Okay.
You use the term E square by R.
So energy is E squared by R. Now R is tending to 0. E is constant definitely. So it's going to infinity, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's also, yeah.
Sir, sir, do we have a constant current source in our lab?
We have.
Oh,
This is
Sir,
not
how
like
is
a
the
battery.
resistance infinity between the two
Okay.
points of current source?
So let me just tell you that constant current sources are not easily available in market like batteries. They are like, you can think that they are intelligent, automatic, adjustable sources. So they automatically change the voltage across them to keep the current constant. We have electronic current sources in our labs. Yes, we do. Yeah.
Regarding current source, sir, can't they be turned off like a regular electrical appliance?
Yes, you are right. In fact, all current sources can be turned off, deactivated. They can be deactivated. Yes.
Sir, one last question. What if we join two constant current sources together?
Again, that is not allowed if they are of different values. If you connect two current sources like this, suppose this is I1, this is I2, and if I1 and I2 are not equal, then again this is a dangerous or bad circuit. It is not. You should never do it, because what will happen? One source will try to keep this current to I1, another source will try to keep this current to, in this case, minus I2. So they will keep they will try to increase the voltage continuously to achieve their desired goal, which they will not be able to achieve, and in the process some breakdown will occur. Okay, so again this is a bad thing to try. Please allow me to proceed. I will take up questions
So
later.
ultimately, I1 minus I2 will be the current in the wire.
No. Here KCL is violated. Okay, it's not possible, mathematically impossible thing. Okay, practically dangerous. Okay, so let me, please allow me to proceed. Acha, in our last class we also saw a circuit like this. L, R, E, switch is closed at t equal to 0, and then we found that how much will be this current as a function of time and how much will be this voltage, call it VL plus minus as a function of time. Okay, acha. Then you asked that what, acha, let me first write the expressions of voltage and current. Okay, so in this case IT will be how much? E by R, 1 minus e to the power minus R t by, correct? And voltage VLT, that will be the derivative of this, that comes out to be how much? How much will be the derivative? E by R into R by L e to the power minus RT by L. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, acha, now the
Multiplied by
question,
L.
huh?
L will not be there.
L will not be there, right?
Di by dt.
Oh, multiplied by, yeah. So yeah,
LDIDT.
LDIDT. Yes, you are right. Thank you. Thank you once again. Now, yeah. So one question that was asked is what happens when R is equal to 0. Acha. So let me tell what will happen here. So the switch is closed, we have the inductor, no resistance is there, voltage applied is E. Now let us write the KVL equation in this loop, and we can write E minus L di dt will be equal to 0, where I is this current. Okay, acha. So you can write E is equal to L di dt, and now from this you can easily integrate this to get what will be the current. So I will be integration of E by L dt starting from, say, time 0 to any time, and this comes out to be E by L. So this is a constant, integration of constant will give you just t. Okay, so this will be IT. So what happens? The current will keep increasing as like a straight line. This is what will happen. Okay, and the voltage across the inductor VL, how will that be? That will be L into derivative of that.
DIDT is
Yeah,
constant.
so that will be L into di dt, that if you calculate it will come out to be E. It has to be.
So this is also bad circuit, right?
This is also bad circuit, dangerous circuit, because
KVL can be followed, right, in this circuit?
KVL is followed. KVL is followed. It is dangerous in the sense if you keep this switch closed for long enough time, then you know current will become very high, and in fact resistance is not 0. There is of course some resistance in the wires, and again it will be,
will also be
yeah. So
increasing.
again it is, but if you keep it for a short time on purpose, then fine. If you know that you are doing it for a very short time, if you calculate how how much time you can keep it closed, and if you do it for a short time, it may be okay, but do not keep it like this for a long time. Acha. Now,
Sir, then why does this not hold true for RC circuits, sir? The same logic you used here for R equals 0.
because for RC circuit, KVL is violated for a short time. So in this circuit, the moment you are connect, I mean something is being violated, because the moment you connect it at time t equal to 0, okay, at that moment the capacitor voltage should be same as the battery voltage to satisfy KVL. But at the same time, we also demand at the starting moment the voltage across the capacitor should be 0, because no charge no charge was coming before that. So if there was no charge, no stored charge, then the voltage should be 0, because it takes some time for the charge to come. Okay, so previously there was no charge, so voltage should be 0, but at the same time KVL demands the voltage to be equal to E. Okay, so okay, let me also tell this in this way, that you know, for a capacitor, if this current is I, same current must go out from the other plate, and this capacitance is C. The voltage across it is suppose VCT. Then we know that IT is equal to dVCT dt multiplied by C. This is what we have seen in our last class also. We can also write this equation by integrating as VCT is equal to IT divided by C integrated over time. Okay, starting from time equal to say minus infinity, prehistoric time up to some time. Okay, so assuming that voltage at time equal to minus infinity was 0. Okay, so assuming at time minus infinity there was no charge across the capacitor, you can also write it in this way. Okay, so that means the voltage across a capacitor is basically proportional to the total charge that has arrived to this capacitor. Okay, so now in this circuit, when the switch was open, no charge was coming. So at time t equal to 0, previously at that moment total integrated charge is 0. So we also require voltage at that moment to be 0. So this is a contradictory thing. Okay, so we will not go into that. Okay, so in the same way also let me tell you, for an inductor, we told if this current is IT and the voltage is VL T plus minus, okay, then we know that VL is equal to L di dt, and by integrating we can also write this as I is equal to IT is equal to VL by L integrated from time t equal to minus infinity to any time dt, again assuming that I at minus infinity was equal to 0. Okay, fine. Okay, or Acha. Also, I mean, you may also write it in this way. We can also write this as IT is equal to this integration. But now let me do, suppose, the integration from time t equal to 0 to t some time. But then I have to add what? This. Okay.
Sir, what does this signify that from t is equal to minus infinite to t equal to 0?
It's practically, I mean, you know, I mean, we can never go to minus infinity. It is like the moment when the circuit was made and assuming at that moment the current was 0. Okay.
Sir, so when t is equal to 0,
Pardon?
no, sir, like why it is not from t is equal to 0 to t equal to t?
Here, in this equation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that, but then you have to add the constant of integration. Okay. In fact, here also we have the constant of integration, I at t minus infinity. Okay. But here we are assuming that equal to 0. Is that fine? You think
Sir,
about
since we have limits, why do we need this constant of integration?
Yes, you are right. You are right. Absolutely right. Okay, so this is just, I mean, calculus of differentiation and integration. You just think about it, and if you have any difficulty, you can ask me.
Sir, because we have integrated di on the left hand side, right? Therefore, we are getting it minus I0 or it minus I minus infinity.
Okay, so let me show you. Acha. So let me do this. So we have VL t is equal to L di dt. Okay, now let me do an integration of both the sides. Acha, before that, let me just write this. Okay, and then let me do the integration, and I have to do the integration for some limit. So whatever limit you like, you can do it in this way. Suppose t equal to t1 to t equal to t2. Okay, then on this side also you have to do this.
dt will go to that side.
Sorry,
Yes,
dt will also come here. Okay, so okay, so dt, now you integrate from any time, suppose t1 to t2. Here also you have to do the integration from same time, t equal to t1 to t2. Okay, now the left side will become what? It will be 1 over L if L is a constant, then integration of VL dt from t equal to t1 to t equal to t2, and the right side will be what? It will be I at t2 minus I at t1. Okay, now you bring this quantity to the left side and you will get I at t2 is equal to 1 over L integration. You can also write it here, no problem. Plus I at t1. Okay, so now let us put t1 equal to 0 and t2 equal to say t. Okay, or if you don't like t, say any other variable, what can I write? Capital T. Okay, then you can write IT is equal to VL T dt integrated from 0 to capital T plus I of 0, right? And in the same way, if we put in this equation, if we put t equal to minus infinity and t2 equal to capital T, then we will get I of t is equal to VLT. Oh, here I missed. Okay, dt plus I at minus infinity. And this integration will be from t equal to minus infinity to capital T. Okay. What's next? Energy, time, constant discharge, energy balance. These things are done. Okay. Okay, fine. Acha. Next, I will move to a new topic for some time, very briefly. Suppose. Before that, let me take maybe some examples. Okay, some problems. Okay, suppose this capacitor is say 2 millifarad. Suppose this resistance is 5 kilo ohm. This is also say 5 kilo ohm. Suppose this voltage is 5 volt. This voltage is say 2 volt. Okay, and suppose this switch was initially open and then it is closed at t equal to 0. Okay, so we are interested in finding out how will this current vary as a function of time after the switch is closed, and how this voltage VC varies across this capacitor plus minus. Okay, so that is the question. Okay,
so we can use an equivalent circuit.
We will use an equivalent circuit. So let me first find out what is the amount of voltage across this capacitor before the switch is closed. Okay, so before closing the switch,
Sir, can we steady state?
Before
so the left side is closed. Only the right side was open.
So right side is open, left side is closed, and assume that this was kept like that for a long enough time. So the circuit reached a steady state.
So steady state, so it's 5 volts.
5 volts.
So that means, so that means in steady state, this voltage VC, so this dVC dt must be equal to 0 because at steady state, all quantities should become constant here.
Sir, can we use superposition principle in this question?
that will not be easy and straightforward. I will not do that. You can do that maybe in your second year, but here that won't be easy. Acha. So
equivalent battery.
yeah, we will use equivalent circuit. Okay, so dVc dt before closing the switch, that must be equal to 0, which will imply this current should be equal to 0 before the switch was closed. Okay, current is 0. Now if this current is 0, how much is the voltage drop across this 5K resistance? That is also 0. So that tells us this voltage Vc before, I mean at time less than 0.
0 minus.
Yeah, let me call that 0 minus. Yes, thank you. So Vc at 0 minus, that should be equal to 5 volt. Okay, acha. Now after closing the switch, what happens?
The current will start to flow.
Now
to the capacitor.
there will be some current here. Acha. But before that, let us assume what happens at t tending to infinity. Okay. That means after the switch is closed, then after a very long time, what will happen? Again this circuit will come to a steady state. Okay, and what will be the final voltage across this capacitor?
3 volt.
The final
3.5 volt.
the final
Yes,
voltage.
sir, 3.5 volt.
The final voltage will, so okay, so let me calculate. Okay, so but again we can say that at a very large value of time, the derivative of this voltage dVc dt will be equal to 0. That means this current here will be 0, IT will become 0, which implies, let me copy this circuit. Okay, so at a very large value of time, here we will have 0 current, and that means whatever current is flowing here, same current is also flowing here. Okay, so what will be the potential here? So this, suppose if we assume this point is at 0 volt, how much is the potential here? 5 volt.
5 volt.
Here
5 volts.
5 volt.
2 volts.
2 volt.
Now suppose here we have a constant current of capital I through both these resistances. Okay, then how much will be the voltage at the midpoint?
3.5.
First,
3.5
how much will be this current? I will be 5 minus 2 divided by 10k ampere. So that is 3 by 10 milliampere. Correct? Acha. So if so, then what will be the potential here at this point? That will be 5 volt. So if I call this VA, then VA will be this 5 volt minus 5k, this resistance multiplied by 3 by 10 milliampere. Okay, so how much is this?
3.5.
3.5.
3.5 volt. Okay,
Yes,
to average, yes, you are right. That's the average of basically this. Okay, fine. So that will be the steady state voltage. Okay, so we
Sir, but in the steady state, you said there is no current.
in steady state here there is no current at this point.
Branch of capacitor.
Okay, I mean in the branch of the capacitor there is no current, but here there is definitely current. Okay, why there is no current in the branch of the capacitor? Because this current I is given by equal to C dVc dt. C dVc dt.
So the capacitor is fully charged.
Yeah, now this derivative is 0, so this is equal to 0. Okay, acha. So then if we plot a graph of time versus capacitor voltage Vc, then we know initially the capacitor voltage was how much? 5 volt. Okay, so let it be here 5 volt. And then this is time t equal to 0. At a very large value of time, it will become 3.5 somewhere here. Okay, this is 3.5 volt. So the voltage will gradually decrease and come here. But now we want to ask, how will this pattern or graph look like? Okay, how will this?
Exponential.
It will be exponential. Achha, why is that so? Because what we will do, we will use an equivalent circuit. Okay, so let me again copy this circuit. Okay, so after closing the switch, then let me just draw it like this. So this is how the circuit looks like after the switch is closed. And you see, we are interested to find what happens only here. Okay, only across this capacitor. And we do not want to know what happens in the remaining part of the circuit. Okay, so that is not required. Okay, so we will draw this circuit in a different way like this. So let me draw the capacitor separately, and let me draw everything else separately. So we have this 5 volt source. In series there is a 5K resistance, and here another 2 volt source, another 5K resistance. Okay, and they are connected, so this is like this. So you see that these two circuits are exactly same, but drawn in different ways, but they are same, exactly same. Okay, so basically this part is drawn here, and everything else is drawn here. Let me just put a box. Okay, so we want to know what happens to this current, and we want to know what happens to this voltage. Okay, so if this point is point A and this point is point B, here also in this circuit this is point A and this is point B. Okay, acha. Now everything inside a box, it contains only resistance and voltage source. Therefore, according to Thevenin's theorem, we can simplify this and draw a Thevenin's equivalent, which will be just a battery in series with a resistance. Okay, this is point A and this is point B. Here we have the capacitor. Okay, acha. Can you find out how much will be this Thevenin resistance?
Sir, 2.5 kilo.
2.5 ohm. So how you are right. So this will be 2.5 kilo ohm.
So can you explain how it is 2.5?
How is it 2.5? Yes. So to find the Thevenin resistance, what do we have to do? We have to
Replace.
We have to first replace all the sources with their internal resistances. Okay, so here for a voltage source the internal resistance is 0, this also 0, so you just short circuit it and remove the voltage sources and measure the resistance between this point, point A, and point B. So between these 2 points, what do we have? We have 2 resistances 5 kilo ohm in parallel. Okay, so that will be half, equivalent to one single resistance whose value is half of 5 kilo ohm, which is 2.5. Okay, is that correct? Fine.
Yes.
Acha.
Yes.
Now, so now, how much will be this voltage?
3 volt.
So 3.5.
3.5 volt.
3.5.
So how do we find
Yes, sir,
how do we find
3.5
this?
yes, sir.
How do we find this? For that, we have to calculate how much is the voltage between point A and point B when nothing is connected outside, but everything is there inside. Okay, how much is this voltage? Okay, so how will you calculate? Okay, one way to calculate, okay, let me use
a loop and find it.
you can do it in many different ways. So let me use, say, nodal method. Okay, and let me assume this point is at, yeah, I know, but still for other students, let me calculate. So let me assume this to be at 0 volt, and let me assume this to be at VA. Okay, if so, and we are assuming that here nothing is connected outside. Okay. Okay, so nothing is connected, so circuit is broken here. Okay, so then you can, so let me write the KCL at node A at this point. So we have two currents entering, one here, another here. Okay, and their sum should be equal to 0. Achha. Now this point is at 5 volt. So how much is this current? 5 minus VA divided by 5K. This is this current. Similarly, how much will be this current? It will be 2 minus VA by 2K. So now 5 minus VA by
5K.
So that should be 5 kilo ohm. So the resistance, the right one.
Of. Okay, thank you. This should be equal to 0. Now, if you solve this equation, there is only one unknown. You will get VA equal to 3.5.
Yes.
Okay. So, acha. So this is 3.5 volt. Acha. Okay. So, next, what? Now, once we have the equivalent circuit, in the equivalent circuit, we can write a KVL equation here in this loop. So we can now write 3.5 volt minus, this current is IT, so minus R Thevenin, which is 2.5 kilo ohm into IT. Okay, let me not put the units for simplicity. And how much is the voltage here? That is VC plus minus. Okay, so minus VC, that is equal to 0. Okay, so then you can write this as am I correct? Everyone following this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so acha, fine. Then this becomes like this: dVc dt plus Vc. Let me divide by this quantity. It will become 5 is equal to 3.5 divided by 5. Okay, now we already have studied how to solve this kind of differential equations. Okay, in our previous class. This is called a first order differential equation, ordinary differential equation. Why first order? Because we have only the first derivative involved in this equation. There is no second
Can't
derivative,
we
third
just
derivative, etc.
we have got a simplified circuit with RLC, so we just can put the values in the what we derived in the equation.
We are going to do that. Just wait, just hold on. Okay. Acha. Yeah, we will do that. So, yeah, so I'm not going to repeat how to solve this, but if you solve this, what will you get? You will get the solution always in this form. VCT will be equal to some constant, call it say K1 plus K2 e to the power minus T by 5.
T by tau.
Okay, or you can also write it in this way, 1 by 5 into T. Okay, why 1 by 5? Because the coefficient of the second term is 1 by 5. Okay, Achha. So this is what we have seen in our
Sir.
last class.
Sir, what you have substituted for IT in the first line?
In this line,
Sir, first line.
yeah, this one, right? So here I have substituted IT is equal to C. C is 2 millifarad, so 2 by 1000, okay, into dVc dt.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, okay. Sir, how is IT is equal to dVc by dt?
That is the property of a capacitor that we have studied in the beginning of our last class. Acha, let me come back. Okay, so the solution will be always of this form, and now you have to find out the values of this K1 and K2. Okay, what should be the value of K1? The K1 should be the value, final value of VC. Final value.
7 by 3.5.
Right, final value of VC. Okay, yeah, because at t equal to infinity, this second term will become 0 and only K1 will remain. So this should be equal to VC at infinity. And we already know how much is this value. So this should be equal to
3.5.
3.5. Yes.
3.5.
3.5. Okay. Achha. Then we have to find the value of K2. And for K2, we will use the value of VC at time 0. Okay. So how much was this value at time 0? This was 5 volt. Yes. So we previously calculated this was 5. So this should be equal to K1 plus K2 e to the power minus, this is 0 because time is 0. Okay. So then K1 is 3.5 plus K2 e to the power 0 is 1. So from this we will get K2 equal to how much? Minus 1.5. Right?
1.5.
Minus 1.5.
Sir, plus 1.5.
Plus 1.5.
Oh, sorry, plus 1. Yes.
Yes, sir, it's plus
It is plus.
1.5
It is
volts.
plus 1.5. Yeah, it is plus 1.5. Right? Okay. And then you can draw the graph, which
Sir,
will.
Sir, K2 is basically V0 minus V infinity.
K2 is, yes, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, in this type of questions, so I can just find the Thevenin's resistance in order to find the time constant, and then can I use the expression K1 plus K2 e to the power minus T by tau and find the value of VC?
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, you are right. Okay, so I forgot to mention that. Yeah, so that's a very nice thing. So here we have found the this power or the this of this exponent in this equation using the differential equation, but that is not required. That is always not required, because from the Thevenin circuit itself you can directly tell how much will be the time constant, because this Thevenin resistance is 2.5 kilo ohm. that
Sir,
multi.
RT into the C.
Pardon?
So time constant will be RTH into the C capacitance.
RTH into C. Okay, so time constant tau will be equal to RTH into C. Okay, so from that also you can directly write this. Okay, you're right. I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Sir, is there any method to find the time constant if there are more than one capacitor or more than one inductor in the circuit?
If there are more than one capacitor or more than one inductor or one capacitor and some
We can find equivalent capacitance.
in some situations we cannot solve it using the methods that we have studied so far. Okay, those problems are not within the scope of this course that you will study in your second year. So if you have more than one capacitor or more than one inductor or combination of inductor capacitors, then the problem that we will have is that if we write the differential equation, we will probably not get a first order differential equation. Maybe we will get some differential equation where second derivative, third derivatives, they will also come. Okay, in that case we cannot solve that using the methods we have studied so far. In some special cases you can do that. For example, suppose I ask you, I give you this circuit. Suppose this is 2 millifarad, this is also 2 millifarad, and this is something 10 volt. Okay, and say this is 5K, switch is closed, and I want to know how much is this current as a function of time. In this case, you see that the two capacitors are connected in parallel, and you have studied what is the equivalence, equivalent capacitance of two capacitance in parallel in school. Okay, so these two together you can write as one capacitor of 4 millifarad. Okay, so in that case you can solve this circuit. Okay, but in general you cannot. So this is solvable using the methods we have studied so far. Okay, but suppose if I give you a circuit like this. I'm putting another resistance in between. Okay, and
in this case we need to by KVL or KCL.
You can get some differential equation using KVL and KVL, but then you will see that differential equation is not of first order. There will be second derivative involved. Okay, so then we cannot. This is beyond the scope of this course.
Will contain terms like I1, I2 and DI1, DI2.
You can, if you know how to solve, you can do that, but it is not required for our exam purpose. Okay, this you will study anyway in your second year. Okay, so this we cannot do in this course.
Sir, in the above question, in which there is a capacitor between two, no sir, above the first question.
Here.
Yes sir. Yeah sir, in the question diagram, instead of where there is capacitor, if there is a resistance and the capacitor is parallel to the 5 kilo ohm resistance, then sir that is also difficult to solve.
You are saying something like this. Let me like this.
Yes sir.
No, this is solvable. This is solvable. This you should be able to solve, because again, do one thing. Take this capacitor outside a box and put everything else inside a box. Okay, after the switch is closed. now you can find the Thevenin equivalent of this circuit. Suppose this is 5K, this is 5K. Suppose this is 10K. Okay, what will be the Thevenin equivalent?
$12.5.
So Thevenin resistance will be 5K and 5K parallel, which is 2.5 plus 10, that is 12.5. And how much will be this voltage, Thevenin voltage?
3.5.
It will remain same. This is solvable. How much will be the time constant if this is 2 millifarad?
25.
12.5 multiplied by 2, which is 25 seconds. Okay. Acha, also let me ask, what is the initial value? What is the initial value of the voltage across the capacitor?
5 volt.
0.
0.
0.
Was the circuit like this in the previous case?
The situation was
different.
different.
It was different. Okay, previously it was different. Yeah. Okay, so in this for this circuit, VC0 will be 0, and how much will be the final value of the voltage VC infinity?
3.5.
3.5. Okay, then you can easily solve it. Okay, so let me take few more
Sir,
examples.
what are the values of two batteries connected here?
5 volt and 2 volt. Same as the previous question.
It will be 3.5 volt. It won't it change?
No, it won't change, because if you are finding the how will you find the Thevenin voltage? Thevenin voltage you will find by making this part open. Okay, so you have this. Okay, and you have to find the voltage here. This is VThevenin. How much is this? Okay, now does it matter whether this resistance is there or not?
No, sir. Anyways, current will not.
Because anyway, no current is flowing here. Okay, so therefore, how much resistance is there or not there, it doesn't matter, because the current here is always 0. So the voltage from here to here is same as the voltage from here to here, and this resistance doesn't matter. Okay, so let me try to take a couple of more examples. So this is another circuit. Okay, suppose this is 4 millifarad, this is 2 kilo ohm. The switch was initially closed and then opened, and suppose this is 2 ampere. Current source, constant current source. Okay, switch was initially closed and then opened. Okay, so you note one thing, I am taking precautions to make sure that this current source is never kept open circuited, because that is dangerous, as we told previously. Okay, so this current source is never completely open circuited. There is always some path for this 2 ampere current to flow, either through the switch or through the resistance. Okay, acha. So again, we are interested in only this current, call it IC you can call, and this voltage from here to here. Okay, acha. Then first of all, before doing anything, what can we say about this voltage at all? What are the things that we surely know? Okay, so for example, VC 0 minus is how much?
0.
It is 0. Why 0? Because this current
The current
will
will
flow.
Current passes through capacitor or resistor.
Yeah, so this current will flow through this switch completely there, and the switch is like a short circuit. So the voltage between this node and this node, that means between the two ends of the capacitor, is 0. Okay, very good. Now what can we say about the voltage at time t equal to infinity? So that means long after the switch is opened.
4000.
4000
volt.
4000 volt.
Yes, you are right. Okay, it looks very odd. 4000 volt. It's very. Let me make it 2 milliampere.
4 volt.
Yeah, so it will be 4 volt. Okay, why? Because then this current will go through this resistance completely. Okay, and because the switch is open, no current can go through the switch. Current cannot also go through the this capacitor at steady state. Okay, so at steady state capacitor current should also be 0. So this voltage will be 4 volt, and the entire current goes through this resistance. Acha, that's acha. What else? Acha, if so, then we can possibly draw the graph of time versus VC. How will it look like? It starts from 0 and goes to 4 volt. Okay, starts from 0 and goes to 4 volt. Okay, and it will be exponential. Okay, then the question is, what will be the expression of this graph? Okay,
You can convert this into Thevenin circuit.
we can convert it
4
into.
into
Okay,
1 minus
So
so
we can convert this into battery and series resistance.
yeah, so we know
We
that
can use
the,
Norton theorem.
where so we will yeah, as you are suggesting, we will convert this part into its Thevenin equivalent. Okay, okay, and so what will be the Thevenin equivalent?
RTH will be 2 kilo.
So RTH will be
series.
yes. In fact, you can also use directly the equivalence between a practical voltage and current source. So you will get RTH equal to the resistance between this terminal A and terminal B, which is 2 kilo ohm in parallel with infinite resistance. So that means 2 kilo ohm. And how much is the open circuit voltage or Thevenin voltage?
4 volts.
That is 2 kilo ohm multiplied by 2 milliampere, 4 volt. Okay, so this is the Thevenin equivalent. And here outside we have the capacitor. Okay, so and this capacitor is
So how
4.
did you calculate the volt?
The voltage, acha, when so this is after switch is opened. Okay, then this current is going only through this 2 kilo ohm resistance, and there is no other path for this current to go. Okay, because the switch is open and outside is anyway open because we are finding Thevenin equivalent. Okay, so outside is anyway open and this current is going through this resistance only. So how much will be the voltage across this resistance? 2 milliampere multiplied by 2 kilo ohm, which is 4 volt. Okay. Achha. Then this voltage VCT will be of this form, something like K1 plus K2 e to the power minus T by some tau. Okay. And how much will be the value of tau?
8.
Yeah. Thevenin resistance into this capacitance. So that will be 8. 8 seconds. Okay, and then you can find out K1 and K2. K1 will be how much? K1 is the final value. Okay, that is 4 volt.
4 volt.
And to get the value of K2, you need the initial value of the voltage, which is 0. So K2 should be minus 4 volt, so that at t equal to 0, voltage is 0. Now I will solve this in another way. Okay, the same problem. And that will be the end of today's class. Okay, acha. So now I will solve it in a longer way. I mean, okay, in more detail. Okay, so after the switch is opened, so this is not there. After the switch is opened, okay, I will not use any equivalent circuit. I will do it directly. Okay, so then what can we say about the KCL at this point? KCL at this point, point A. Okay, so I don't want to use any equivalent circuit or any shortcut. I want to do it in more detailed manner. Okay, so for that, KCL at node A, what can I write? 2 ampere. This 2 ampere current must be equal to the current IC, which goes through the capacitor, plus the current that goes through the resistance. Okay, how much current goes through the resistance? That is VC by 2 kilo ohm. Okay, acha. Then this I can write as IC is equal to C is 4 milli into dVc dt, okay, plus Vc by 2k. Okay, and so this is equal to 2 ampere 2. So this I can also write as dVc by dt plus I'm dividing by 4 milli, so this will come out to be Vc by 8 equal to 2 by 4 milli, which is half k. That means 500. Am I correct? Is it correct?
Yes, sir. So that is milliampere, no?
Pardon?
Current also in milli.
Yes, sir.
Current is
Milliampere.
no.
Half
It is 2 by 4 milli, which is like 0.5 k, which is 0.5 kilo ampere.
It was 2 milliampere.
Yes. Yeah, you are right. Here also I missed that. Okay, so yeah, then it will be just half. Thank you. Okay, so now you can solve this question again. How will you solve? You can multiply both side with what?
E power t by 8.
So this equation is at any time t.
This is true for t greater than equal to 0.
Okay, sir.
After, I wrote here after opening this switch. Okay, e to the power 1 by 8t. Right side also will be e to the power 1 by 8t, and then you can solve this. Okay. Okay, fine. So I will stop here today. is there any question so far? Acha, one question you asked previously. Let me give
So
one
you told
answer.
you'll tell at last.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, not today. Previously, you asked one thing. I mean, sometimes back. Also, let me try to give that answer also. Okay, let me see that question. Because last day I didn't give possibly a satisfactory answer. So, suppose we have a voltage source. Practical voltage source with some internal resistance. Okay, then suppose this EMF is E, this plus minus, this resistance is R. If we drop and let this everything be closed inside a box. Outside, if I want, I can connect whatever I want, and accordingly some current will flow here, and accordingly some voltage will appear here, plus minus. Okay, now depending on what I connect outside, this current will change as well as this voltage will change. And we know if I plot a graph of current versus voltage, okay, how will this graph look like? It will be like this. Okay, it will be easier if I draw current here and voltage in the y-axis. Then when there is no current, how much will be the voltage? It will be equal to E. Okay, and then it gradually drops down. Okay, acha. Then from this graph, suppose this graph is given to you, can you calculate how much is the internal resistance from this graph?
Minus
Suppose,
dt by di.
Yeah, suppose
Negative slope.
This voltage is delta V, and suppose this current is delta I, then R is equal to delta V by delta I.
Delta.
Right? Achha. Now, suppose if I take an ideal source with no internal resistance, okay, then how will the graph look like?
A
straight line, horizontal line. Okay. Yeah, acha. So in this case, from this graph, if you calculate how much is the internal resistance, so here this is again I can write delta V by delta I, but here delta V is 0 or slope is 0 basically. So then this will be 0, right? This is one way of explaining why the internal resistance is considered to be 0 for an ideal voltage source. Okay. In the same way, if I take suppose a current source, ideal, okay, and this is in a box, how will the graph look like, voltage versus current?
Parallel to y-axis.
Right. So that will be something like this. Okay. How much is the slope here for this graph?
Infinite.
Slope is infinite. So that's one way of explaining why the internal resistance of an ideal current source is infinite. Okay. Acha. Any
Sir,
other?
this graph you just drew above, will this ever touch that y-axis, that is x-axis?
This graph?
No, not that.
Above graph?
Above.
Yeah, it will touch x-axis if you draw sufficient amount of current, and if nothing is burnt or something, I mean, no damage is occurred before that. Okay, but for a practical source, we will not go up to that much current because then something will be definitely damaged before that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any other question I told I will tell later.
Sir?
Huh.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, can we directly use the equation V naught for a capacitor whose voltage across its end is given by V naught plus V infinity minus V naught e की power minus T by RC?
In which context are you talking about?
Sir, we have to find voltage across a capacitor in a circuit, just like we were discussing example just before.
Right.
So I was telling that we can just directly write this equation.
Yes. So okay. So let me tell in this way. Suppose you have a complicated circuit, very complicated. I mean, as complicated as you can think. And then suppose in this circuit, only one capacitor or inductor, as the case may be, is there. Okay, and somewhere there is some switch. Okay, so there is only one capacitor, and there may be one or more switches here and there, and maybe you are closing some of them, maybe you are opening some of them. Okay, and then you want to know what happens only to this current and the voltage across this capacitor. Okay, if that is the case, then you see that other than this capacitor, what we have is only voltage source, current source, DC sources and resistance. And for that, we can always find a Thevenin or Norton equivalent. Okay, therefore, for this purpose, we will always get a Thevenin equivalent or Norton equivalent. Okay, and then in that case, you can always write this current I and this voltage, as you are saying, in the exponential form. Okay, so this voltage Vc will be K1 plus K2 e to the power minus this multiplied by e to the power minus some t by tau. Okay, so you can always start from that assumption that the voltage across the capacitor will always be of this form, and find out the value of K1, K2 and tau. Okay, using Thevenin equivalent. For that, what is required?
To find the equivalent, or it will be difficult for us?
Sometimes it may be difficult, sometimes it may be easy.
In this case.
So it depends how complicated the circuit is. I can make more complicated circuit. In theory, you can always find it, but it may be difficult. It may take more time to do that. In theory, you can always do, provided you have only one capacitor under consideration and everything else outside is only resistance, voltage source and current source, nothing else. No other. So if there is another capacitor inside the circuit or another inductor, then this method may not be applicable.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, if we connect a capacitor with a current source, then what will exactly occur? Like the capacitor should be charging, but there is a constant current flow.
Okay, so that's again a nice question. Suppose this is a constant current source and we connect a capacitor. Okay, so what will happen? Suppose this is C, this is I naught. After the switch is, so suppose Vc, which is this voltage, suppose this is equal to 0 before the switch is closed. Okay, then after the switch is closed, we can write it as, write a KVL equation, not KVL, KCL. In fact, directly we can write that this current IT is equal to I naught. Okay, and if so, then this is equal to d Vc dt multiplied by C. Now you can integrate I naught dt, and right side is, let me bring C here, d Vc. You integrate from any time to any time, for example time 0 to t. Here also you have to do it for the same limits. That implies I naught C by C, which is a constant. Integration of dt is t from t to 0, and right side will be dvc at t equal to 0 to t whatever sometime. Okay, so now the voltage is equal to 0 at time 0, that we have already seen. So right side will be sorry, not this d is not there, vc t minus vc 0. Okay, and we are done. So that means vc is equal to vc 0 plus I naught by c in, and this is t. So it will be a straight line going through the origin.
The current will remain I naught.
Current will remain I naught, and after some time voltage may be enough to cause breakdown, and until that voltage will keep increasing.
So that means here the voltage is behaving exactly like the current in the battery source and
Right.
inductor.
Right. So this is similar to this situation where we have a battery and a inductor. So this is, yeah, similar.
Sir, but here power is being, created. Power in the
In
current
which
source.
case, power in either case, power is delivered by the current source. Yes, power is supply, power is created or
sorry.
delivered.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because this voltage here to here is always positive or 0, and current is also positive.
Yes, sir.
Sir, if we connect a current source to an inductor, sir.
If we connect a current source to an inductor like this, then the moment you connect the switch, kindly mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. Achha. So the moment you connect it, immediately current will become same as this I naught, whatever, and the voltage will be instantaneously
Zero.
infinite. No, instantaneously, yeah, 0. But instantaneously, so current graph, so current here it is 0, then it becomes I naught suddenly. So there is a sudden jump. So the derivative is infinite. Okay, so voltage will be infinite for a brief moment.
Sir, will there be any heat generated during this very short time interval of 0 to I naught?
Since there is no resistance considered, there won't be any heat generated. But practically there is of course resistance.
Okay.